Let's turn now to the forecast. We are expecting heavy rain as Debbie continues to move.
Meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees joins us now. And Brittany, break this down. When can we start seeing that heavy rain?
Well, heavy rain itself is mostly going to be on Thursday, but we're already starting to see some of those outermost bands from Debbie. Here's the center of circulation here just off the coast of Charleston. If you notice here that center has moved ever so slightly to the east based on our data that we had even just 24 hours ago. Now, this is good for one reason and not so good for another reason. The more time it spends over open ocean, the potential for Debbie to get just a touch bit stronger. But with that slight track shift to the east, and I mean slight, we have started to see some of those rainfall totals drop ever so slightly. This does not mean that we do not still have the significant risk for flooding, because we absolutely do. But you can see a lot of that moisture starting to come in already, but the center is still off the coast. You can see it a little bit better here on our water vapor loop. Of course, what happens after a tropical system leaves is drier air eventually starts to work back in. So the weekend forecast has started to look a lot better as we look ahead to Friday, really and Saturday and Sunday. Here's your excessive rainfall outlook for Thursday. This is the first day we especially want you to stay weather aware. Notice the high impact for areas across the Charlotte metro, and then east of 77 we have that extreme. Again, this has been consistent. We have consistently talked about the fact that we would see more rain for areas east and southeast of the city and lesser rain up toward the mountains and foothills. On Friday, pretty much everyone at that medium risk. Remember, we've seen a lot of rain over the past few weeks, so this is going to impact pretty much everyone, but just some areas more than others. Low risk here for some isolated power outages due to some gusty winds around 30 to 35 miles per hour, especially on Thursday. Again, you can see that wind impact, but our biggest one, of course, locally is going to remain flooding. So Thursday, when can you expect the rain? Well, pretty much off and on for much of the day. The impact, heavy rain leading to localized flooding. Best thing you can do is stay weather aware. I mentioned this earlier in the newscast, but if you know that your neighborhood is prone to flooding, maybe you see some leaves and mess kind of clogging up the storm drains, try to go ahead and take care of some of that. Be a good neighbor, be an aware neighbor as well. If you know your backyard is prone to flooding, maybe take those precautions now, making sure that anything important, is off the ground, things of that nature. And the wind gusts won't be too bad, but if you have anything outdoors like lawn furniture you don't want soaked or maybe just moved around a bit, time to bring that inside is going to be today. So here we are tomorrow morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, just like clockwork. We're expecting the heavy rain to start mainly along the southeastern portion of Mecklenburg County. Eventually heavy rain moves even further in as we get closer to the middle part of the morning and pretty much stays that way off and on for the majority of the day. What you'll notice as we get toward Friday morning is some of that drier air gets swept past. We might see an isolated shower or storm lingering into late Friday, but the majority of that rain heavy tomorrow and again toward Friday morning. So Thursday is the main day we want you to stay weather aware due to that heavy rain, virtually off and on rain potential for the entirety of the day. Thankfully, we're starting to trend a little bit lighter with the rain by the second half of Friday. And then, as I mentioned, the weekend looks fantastic. So everybody just needs to be aware of the heavy rain, the localized flooding risk for Thursday. It'll be wrapped up pretty quickly by the second half of Friday, and then we can enjoy that weekend. Best way to stay safe as always, weather aware with the WCNC Charlotte team.